Joining me now is Global Affairs analyst Chuks Nwoko. He's here to give us insight into this. Chuks, good morning. It's nice to have you join us now. Right now, we all know that Africa is the centerpiece of Nigeria's foreign policy. So Nigeria always looks out for other African. The moment you are African, Nigeria welfare package, so to say, covers you. But when it comes to indigent Nigerians or Nigerian citizens abroad, we've heard of killings of Nigerians in Ghana, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Kenya, and different countries, and nothing seemed to happen.
What you need is strong leadership. If Africa is the centerpiece of your foreign policy and all that, it has to start at home. You play locally first. How do you prioritize your people locally? People are dying here on the highways, in the streets. People are being kidnapped and all that. And other nations that you expect to respect your citizens who reside in their country, see what you're doing. We live in a global village. Everybody knows what is going on almost as it happens everywhere. So what Nigeria needs to do is have a strong leadership where if you speak, the president in Ghana or in South Africa will listen to you. Because at the end of the day, what is going on in South Africa is a leadership problem. If the government in that place does not support what is going on, it will not happen. It will not happen in the sense that they will punish, set an example with a few individuals that what you're doing is very wrong. But I have never bothered to blame Ghanaians for what they are doing. I have never bothered to blame other countries, particularly South Africa, because as a country, we have the power of unfair advantage. That's what I call it. We have the population, we have the market, we have strong leadership, we have very intelligent people and all that. You need a government that can understand that and analyze.
And galvanize all of those.
And galvanize all of that and analyze it as against what the South Africans think that they have. Now, what I think that we have is that because we're a blessed people, using South Africa as an example, what they are doing is type of thing that happened to the Jews in Germany. They prospered, whether it was in agriculture, whether it was trade in nails or in zinc, whatever they did, and it became a sign of concern to the leadership as a way at that time in Germany. Now, Nigerians live here and go to South Africa, and they do well, and their business are vandalized and all that. And I have not heard until a few days ago when I heard the Senate president say something that I thought that was close to what should have happened maybe many years ago, when a leader will stand up on the podium and speak to the world about what he feels and how that we prioritize our own lives and our own people. Everybody will queue up. You can't do that.
I wonder how much the words or statements from the Senate president will go if the president is not the one making that.
It doesn't matter. What you need is leadership. That kind of thing has not come from our president, maybe. But for the first time, I heard a Senate president. We have had Senate president in the past. In fact, in the last assembly, we had a Senate president. But a few days ago, I just stumbled on your news and I heard that man, Ahmed Lawan, make a statement while he was interviewing a nominee for ministerial position. And that's the pattern. That needs to be consistent when you can take a firm stand and say, this is what we need to do. Now, I think that we need to borrow examples because there's nothing new on the surface of the earth. If your people are being killed, look, there are two young men who went to Italy and committed a crime from the United States. They are interested, even as they have committed crime, they are being treated with caution. They've murdered a police officer in a foreign land. Now, that is how it's done. Until they are taken to court and found guilty, they are well taken care of, and they're treated with care.
All right, Nigeria, I feel that Nigeria has desire to change the trend of what happens to Nigerians abroad. That was why they decided to set up the Diaspora Commission. But how much of a game changer would that be?
You see, when you set up a commission and it's designed to pacify and all that, and not bring in the result, you need to change your tactics, you need to change your modus operandi, you need to change your style. Look, I said to you that I had the Senate president make a statement. I need our government to sit down and ask ourselves, why are people going to such places? I don't have a problem with our people going abroad. We have the resilience, we have the know-how, we are blessed. We go anywhere, we can survive. And I have noticed that it's not just criminals, suspected criminals that they are killing. They are killing and destroying our businesses. So what you need to do is analyze our strength and our weaknesses. We are very strong in so many areas. You can take a firm stand. Look, what South Africans don't understand that is that growing up in Lagos here, in our Jawa State, we housed them, those of them who were students in UI and Ife, they were housed in an estate called Ajawa Estate, somewhere in Ikeja here. I used to go to the place because I had friends who were on exile from Congo and from Zaire. They were living in that place. I used to go to the place and see them, in their subdued attitude. What they don't know is that Nigeria is a great nation, and that our people might be there now and all that. That after another 20 years, things can change. Because the people who are doing this in South Africa, they are not the ones who built South Africa. By the way, apartheid was in that country for so many years. It has come to an end. So whatever they are doing to us now is going to come to an end. And that's what a leader in Nigeria needs to know. And be able to look at those leaders in South Africa and say, you better take care of these things or we're going to retaliate. There's need for retaliation. Maybe economically or politically. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you don't keep quiet and be negotiating. What are you negotiating? The negotiations are not bringing good results.
Ultimately, there has to be decisive steps towards putting this to an end. Thank you very much, Chuks Nwoko, for coming on the program. Thank you. Me now is Global Affairs Analyst Chuks Nwoko to give us insight into understanding some of these issues. Chuks, good morning. It's nice to have you joining us right now. Now, a lot of Nigerians have complained at a time that it seems the government doesn't have the record of, or even data of how many Nigerians are out there, even those who are traveling on a daily basis and coming back, the proper record of, okay, how many Nigerians are traveling to Malaysia today, or traveling to South Africa, or traveling to, so when they have issues, following up is always not as easy.
Absolutely. You might not have the records, but like I always say, every time I've been asked questions, I'm always talking about leadership problems that we have. Because if you have leadership, then the embassies and the consulates and the outlets, we have records of all these things. But first, like I said to you, I just I hear myself repeating myself all the time. We do not prioritize ourselves. We do not prioritize our citizens. So the embassies and their general attitude to our people outside. I've been to the UK, and my Nigerian brother I was staying with couldn't get Nigerian visa to come back home because he's a citizen. So he has to come to Nigeria with the British papers. Not because he wanted to, but because of the attitude of the officials outside there in the UK. And we know what's going on in Canada and all. So the issue of leadership is very, very, very important. Now, you might not have the data, but how about the news? Don't you see the news? Don't you see the images coming into this country, coming to your newsroom, hearing and telling you what Nigerians are going through? What do you do about it? Now, it also requires leadership to pick up a phone and call your counterpart in Ghana, in South Africa, and tell them the consequences of what you are doing. Now, that you are calling somebody and expressing an anger does not mean that peace does not exist between two of you. But you're upset with what is going on. That has made us to become vulnerable.
But does Nigeria have what it takes to put a call across like that, to either warn a country or to even take such kind of measures?
We have it, but it will require an individual who understands and who knows what this thing is. Look, why are Nigerians being killed in South Africa? It's not because of crime. I mean, if somebody commits a crime, South Africans commit crime, they are robbers, they are doing all kinds of things, you get punished, you follow due process. But Nigerians are very resilient, very hardworking, and very successful. They go into places, go to South Africa, you see them, they arrive and they see opportunities and they tap into it and they are successful, they are diligent, they are hardworking. The environment, they notice the environment is probably okay, they work hard. Go to Ghana, what is going on in Ghana? Let me tell you what is going on in Ghana. The law of Ghana says that if I'm a man, if I reside in Ghana, there are laws and processes that will be followed before I can reside there after 90 days. If I marry a Ghanaian, automatically I become a Ghanaian citizen. Those laws are disregarded by an association called GUTA, Ghana Union of Traders Association. They are shutting down Nigerian shops. And as it was going on, and I was shouting and posting this on Facebook and other social media handles of mine, asking the media, what are you people doing? This thing is going on live and you're not covering it. Nothing. Now, it's not because the embassy, they're at a diplomatic level, they've not found a solution. But those Ghanaian people are disregarding these things that have been signed, the ECOWAS protocol, are being disregarded. The diplomatic effort that have been made by the Diaspora office and by the embassy is being disregarded. So something needs to happen. Every time the Ghanaian president has an issue to address, he attacks Nigeria and disrespects us, and nobody has spoken to him. That makes us vulnerable, and what is required is not placating whoever. It is about leadership picking up the phone or going to that place and say, you know what, this is not going to happen. If that happens, this is what I'm going to do to you. Because we have the capacity.
All right. Now, on the other hand, a lot of others have also argued in the area of Nigerians who are involved in illicit activities like drugs and so on in some of these countries. And a lot of them, some of the activities are the ones painting the country black.
Mike, few days ago, I don't know, just a few days ago, by yesterday, was still in the news. 2 American young men who are under 20 years of age went to Italy, got involved in a dirty deal, and in the process they stabbed an Italian police officer to death. They are being, that case is being handled, but due process is being filled. If Nigerians, you have crime everywhere.
All right.
Americans commit crime and they are punished.
All right.
You follow due process.
Okay, we have to leave it here now. Thank you very much, Chuks Nwoko, for giving us enlightenment in that regard.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, affairs analyst Chuks Nwoko is live with us now in the studio. Good morning, Chuks. Talking about, tackling this seeming targeting of Nigerians, especially in South Africa, how do you change perceptions? How do you change mentality?
What you need is action. You do not need all this dialogue. I'm listening to this news, and we've done enough of all that. You need, this nation, South Africa and Ghana, they need to see our government take action. Action include prioritizing how you treat your own citizens, how you prioritize them. Something needs to be done, something very concrete. A word has to go forth. Now, that you have a spat, or you decide to have a spat with this nation, does not mean the absence of peace. That needs to be understood. But you need to safeguard your citizens wherever they may be, even when they have committed a crime. You need to insist that they are well treated and they are taken to the courts and taken care of.
So that is lacking from your observation.
That is lacking.
For the Nigerian side especially.
Absolutely. We have a situation in this country where outsiders listen to what is going on in this country. Cows and herdsmen issues are the things that we're discussing, and insecurity. Then we face the same insecurity outside of this country. What platform, what basis, what do you have? What excuse, what reason do you have to speak to people who are maltreating your own people? You do not need all these agencies that are being created. Because see, the reasons agencies are created or commissions are created is that you have tested and found out that they will perform their function. You have verified that they will perform their action. That's why you have INEC, because INEC over time has been tested, has been seen. Now, it might not be perfect. So when you constitute a commission or create an agency to deal with diaspora issues, I don't know when it was tested. And so far, maybe the activities that are ongoing are designed to test that commission. It's not working. So you need a leadership that can stand up and speak to this government. For instance, you have the Ghanaian president who is constantly badmouthing this country and insulting our nation by the utterances that are coming out from his mouth. The other day, he sneaked into Aso Rock to go and see our president. I expected our president to caution him and to speak to him.
Okay.
That is what you need, a strong leadership.
So that's on one side now, call for action for the governments. But then for the Nigerian living in South Africa, what is the problem? Is it that the Nigerians there are isolating themselves, to give the impression that what they're doing is shoddy?
The problem in South Africa, as far as I'm concerned, from my personal perspective, is that where our people have gone out there and they are doing very well. Because if you saw the image that was shown just now, their shops are being vandalized. Their vehicle workshop, their mechanic workshop, where they do this business, are constantly being vandalized and being burnt down. And I know as a history student that if you check the history of the Jews, we're almost like that. Everywhere and everything, we will prosper in it. And by the way, that's what happened in Ghana 5 weeks ago. When the Ghanaian community, GUFTA, Ghana Union of Traders Association, shut down Nigerian shops on the excuse that they're selling their own wares cheaper than the Ghanaians are doing. And invariably indicting their own customs and immigration. Now, the reason is because of envy and jealousy. They do not understand the secret of our sources. Absolutely. And so they come after our businesses, and police is supporting them and all that. And I have seen those pictures, and I have raised an alarm that how come Nigerian media house didn't cover what happened in Ghana recently, and the attack that Nigerians suffered. That what is required is what I had just told you, a strong action from Nigerian leadership, telling those governments and those people that it's not going to be tolerated. Now, that will require you analyzing our strengths. We have power of unfair advantage. That must be used. That's what Trump is using. Okay. When he sanctions other nations, sanctions South Africa, sanctions Nigerians, is because he has found out that he has power of unfair advantage, so he can start a trade war. All right,
Chuks Nwoko, thank you very much for your analysis. Chuks Nwoko, of course, is a global affairs.